don't know how many people are here. Okay, fine. I'll turn off the phone. Good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible now. If there is any issue in the audio, please let me know in the comments. Okay, I think we'll start the session. So first of all, good evening, everyone. I will introduce myself first. I am Nandana JS, and this year I have secured All India rank 745 in UPSC Civil Services exam. So I'm here to share my strategy, my journey, and answer all the questions if asking in the live. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I think we'll continue with the session. First of all, I'll share my brief journey in this UPSC. I've started my UPSC journey after my graduation. So my background is English literature. I've done my graduation and post-graduation in English literature. Soon after my graduation, I started UPSC preparation. I'm basically from Kerala. That's why I'm speaking in English. I hope you can understand it as well. If there is any issue, please let me know. And so my background is English literature. I've started after my graduation, and this is my fourth attempt. So in my fourth attempt, I've got All India rank 745, and my optional is sociology this time. I've given 4 prelims, 2 mains, and 1 interview. So initially, I had mains in my first attempt, and that was with English optional, English literature as optional. And at this time, it was sociology. I changed my optional because of certain reasons that I couldn't find a peer group here, or I couldn't find people who are preparing along with me. So I decided to change my optional to sociology this time, and hopefully things turned out well with sociology. So first, this is a brief introduction about my journey. This is my fourth attempt, and now I'll share my strategy regarding prelims, mains, and interview. So one of the comments was that what motivated me to start the UPSC preparation. I'll have a brief talk about that too, because it was during my graduation days that I felt I need to do something greater than what a teaching option could do with literature. So I thought I'll go with the civil services exam, and that was my initial start. There was little motivation during the graduation times, and soon after graduation, I joined a coaching institute because I was not aware about the humanities subjects or the GS topics that was to be dealt with in this exam. So I joined a coaching, and I took a PCM course of 1 year. And along with the preparation, I started doing my post graduation distantly, and this is my fourth attempt. So I have cleared my first prelims and could not clear the first mains. And for the second and third attempt, I lost my prelims itself. And this is my fourth attempt where I could clear prelims, mains, and the interview stage and find my name in the list. So let me go into my strategy. First, let us talk about prelims strategy. So prelims, as you all know, contains 2 papers, GS1 and CSAT. And for me, GS1 was the issue for my second and third attempt, where I lost GS1. Where I lost GS1 for 10 to 6 marks, 6 to 10 marks. I could also figure out why I lost the prelims in my second and third attempt. I'll discuss that after I discuss my strategy. So for GS1, I'll share the general approach towards different subjects like polity, economy, etc. For polity, the source that I referred to most was Lakshmikant itself. And for modern India, that the history portion, for modern India, it was Spectra that everybody uses it. And for ancient and medieval India, I stick on to the NCRTs because most of the questions are from the NCRTs, especially the themes NCRT from class 12th. Themes 1 and 2 are specifically important for ancient and medieval India. And then for art and culture, it was basically current affairs based preparation. And also there is an NCRT for art and culture. You can use that also. There are a lot of pictures and descriptions that are given for that art and culture part. And then for environment, it was Shankar IA's a book. I did a selective reading from that book, and environment is a very evolving topic. So you have different topics to be covered in environment, not just statics, because current affairs is also there in environment portion. You can look on to various biodiversity, species in news, then the hotspots that are in news. There are certain protected areas that are in news. Map questions will be asked based on these current affairs topics. Also you have to cover and cover about this topics in environment portion as well. And then comes the map questions. Before map questions, I'll discuss about economy as well, because I am a person who finds it very difficult to learn economy because I don't have a base in economy. So what I did was I relied completely on the class notes for the PCM course that I joined in an institute in Thiruvananthapuram district of Kerala. So it is quite a famous institute also. So I depended on the class notes of that institute because I was not very aware about the economic topics. So for economy, there is 9 to 12 NCRTs, but it is slightly difficult to cover if you do not have any base in the economy. So you can use online sources. There are very good videos available on YouTube on the basics of economy. So you can start with that. And there are also other textbooks available for economy. I haven't referred to any other textbooks other than my class notes. And coming to the map questions and the species in news, which is partly covered in the current affairs topics itself. See, map questions are really important, and its importance is also increasing in these years of UPSC because certain incidents that are in news. For example, now the Iran war is in news. So Strait of Hormuz will be there in the newspaper almost every day. So you have to cover this the important straits like the Strait of Hormuz and other choke points that are related to this Strait of Hormuz, the neighboring countries of Iran, where Iran shares the land border with, then the Persian Gulf region or the Gulf of Oman region, the larger Indian Ocean region where this geopolitical tension is going on. So these things are connected things related to the Iran war and in news. So these can be concluded that map questions are evident from this related news. It's not only about IR or war. It is also about the places that are in news. So stick on to the newspaper reading and current affairs for the map questions. And these are the general GS topics that I have to mention. And other than that, there is the second paper, which is CSAT. CSAT is really important because many people lose CSAT even after scoring good marks in GS1. So CSAT usually has a max portion and also a comprehension portion, which is the English portion. So in recent years, what I have observed is max is becoming more and more tough. So you need practice based on the PYQs. And for comprehension also, you need to be familiar with the UPSC language, because in comprehension there are two types of question. One will be directly from the passage and the second one will be based on assumptions, that is what can be assumed from that particular passage. So in this method, you have to be familiar with what UPSC means by what can be assumed from that passage. That can be very subjective, and this year it was also very difficult for me to tackle such questions, assumption questions from the passages. So you have to pay attention to that, and CSAT will be based on a PYQ practice. You have to take the PYQs of 5 to 10 years, maybe 5 years, because now it is evolving. So take the PYQs of 5 years, then practice the maths as well as the comprehension questions so that you get used to the language of the UPSC. So this is the prelim strategy, and I've also one thing to share, the insights that I've learned the hard way because I've lost two prelims. So it is important to analyze why I lost these two prelims. That may not be possible for any other people who cleared in the first or second attempt to say. Maybe they have done it in the right way, but I have learned it in the hard way. So two important things that are very deadly in your prelims mindset, in your prelims preparation or the attempt in prelims, is that the fear of exam and the self-doubt part. So if you have that fear of exam or fear of failure, you'll have a tendency to attempt less questions. You'll have that fear to attempt the questions that you don't know. And if self-doubt also has the same tendency, that you'll feel that you have not studied enough, or you have not completed the portions, and you'll feel hesitant to attempt the questions. So that can be detrimental in prelims. This mindset was the problem with me in the second and third attempt that costed me these two attempts. I couldn't clear prelims because of this. So what to do is to have that clear mindset in exam. So that in your prelims, while you are in the exam hall, you have that clear mindset to use whatever possible information that you have. Even it can be basic logic, it can be basic common sense. You can tackle questions with that. So that mindset is important, because in prelims, whatever we study, there will be hardly 30 questions, even below 30 questions. For me, it was 15 questions which I could attempt in the first round. That means questions that you know for sure that these are the answers that we can attempt in the first round of prelims. So then our knowledge is limited in that sphere. So all the rest of the questions we have to tackle on the exam hall, in the exam hall. So we have to have that clear mindset, clear kind of thoughts, to use our logic or to use whatever knowledge we have to tackle that question, to eliminate the options and tackle that questions. So that exam mindset is really important. You should not have self doubt. You have prepared enough, you have given your all in for those 1 year or 6 months at least, and you have prepared all the static portions that people do, all the aspirants do. So you are on the same level, but the success or the failure in prelims depends on how you perform at the exam hall. So to have the right mindset is very important. Everyone, I have heard everyone say about consistency, smart work, practice in prelims, but mindset is also equally important. I'll answer all the questions in the comments at the end after sharing my general strategy. So this is prelim strategy, and second I'll go for the main strategy. And what is common in prelims and main strategy is the PYQ analysis and sticking on to the syllabus. In prelims we don't have that comprehensive syllabus, but we have the comprehensive syllabus in mains. So stick to the syllabus as well as PYQs in both prelims and mains, so that you can eliminate whatever is not necessary. So in mains, what comes to me first was the notes that I made from the micro themes. For example, there are 4 papers in mains: GS 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is ethics. So if you look onto the mains question papers of the previous year, you can find certain micro themes that are there. There are compilations which of the PYQs also, which explains about the micro themes. You can make short notes on that micro themes. For example, in GS1 there is the GS1 there is minerals that are there, the art and culture part. For example, the Harappan civilization, the Harappan culture, there is a repeated amount of questions from that particular. So Harappan culture can be a micro theme within art and culture. So you can prepare some of the points from the architecture of Harappan civilization, the life during Harappan civilization, that was asked last year. So this for whatever micro themes that they ask questions, you have points in your short notes. So prepare such, and you can also give examples if you prepare notes. So coming to GS2, there are certain cases of polity that like the basic structure or the separation of powers, which are oftentimes repeated, and also the local self-governments. It is the problems of local self-government, what need to be done, to improve the efficiencies of local self-government, some of the best practices, etc. You can list down these points so that you can often use it as examples and way forward also. So such micro themes should be concentrated on. And there was also, and for these are the major approaches that I use, micro themes and the notes based on this. And it can be supplemented with magazines. There are some of the magazines that I use, just Prahar magazine, Vision Mains 365 is also there. So it is it depends on us. We don't need to read all these magazines end to end. We just have to pick those topics which we feel necessary after referring to the PYQs. So PYQs, we get to know that some of the themes are repeated. Some of the things in the current affairs can be a possible question this time from this micro theme. So based on that, it can be utilized. And for the content part in mains answer writing, for example, we get to give examples, we get to give data, statistics and mains. This can be collected from official government websites. I used to refer to PIB for any statistics or data, so that it is an authentic source. And there can be examples can be collected from many sources. For example, many of the institutes like Vision, Drishti, etc., they update the community post with a very good post, like with some pictures and bullet points, so that it is easier for us to remember. And all the ministries also now has Instagram pages. They do update the post with very interesting pictures and data given in the bullet point, so it is easier for us to remember and save those. You can also use that as examples for your value enrichment. And specifically on the GS4 topics, which is ethics, the preparation was slightly different from the other GS topics, because in ethics, the basic things that we study, the basic theories that we study are the same. You can refer to any books. I use my own class notes that are prepared from the PCM coaching that I did. And other than that, what I did specifically for this time, that enhanced my ethics marks by more than 30 marks compared to my first mains, is that I prepared a chart of values, that certain values like empathy, compassion, these are mentioned in the syllabus itself. So you can prepare a chart of values, how these values can be inculcated in our daily life, and some of the best practices where these values are inculcated by bureaucrats or any other famous personalities that makes a change in the society. Some of the quotes or some of the examples or anecdotes that we can state from these values. I made a chart of this and revised it again and again, so that in every ethics answer, I made sure that I quoted one or two values along with some of the examples of civil servants that use as the value. So in 10 markers, most of the questions will be based on some of the values. So we can directly answer the question with this chart. And apart from that, in case studies also, make sure in every case study you can quote as much values as possible based on that case study. So that I think has gained me good marks in ethics this time. I scored around 121 marks in ethics this time. So that has made a difference, I think. So this is the GS topics. And now we can go to the essay topic. Essay, I've scored 128 in essay this time. So my essays are not very innovative. It is multi-dimensional. I include a lot of dimensions in essay, so that it is a holistic kind of essay. I usually start my essay with an anecdote or a quote. Usually quotations are very difficult to remember. So if you do not have a quotation, I usually go with an anecdote. I'm very good at writing stories. So I start with an anecdote and also end with the same anecdote, so that it creates a picture that is rounded up. So I start with an anecdote, then give multiple dimensions of the specific essay, so that, and also ends with the same anecdote. So that creates a holistic picture of the essay. And also in essay, there is no need for any diagrams or any charts that are included in essay. It should have a general flow, that when we read it, it should have a flow with the, it should go with the flow. We should not feel that these are just facts put up together. There should be a flow to it. Organic flow should come. So that comes with practice. Please do practice essay. If you are a beginner, you can practice essay once in a week, or if you are approaching mains, after prelims, you can also practice essay with the test series that you take, or else you can also just look on to the toppers essays also. You can get points and values from how they write. I have also done that. So that is about my essay strategy. And now coming to my optional, which is sociology. Sociology is it is easier to study. There are two papers in sociology. That is, the first paper contain around 10 to 11 chapters, and the second paper it is some 15 chapters, I guess. So it is easier to cover for me. I have taken a coaching at the institute itself, so it was basically the coaching notes that I followed. Other than that, no other sources I followed for sociology. And I've complemented this basic the material that I've got from the coaching center along with the current affairs. So if there is any news related to religion or politics and affecting society, or any sociologist that have recently passed away, or any sociologist work that is recently in news, I'll add that point in the sociology notes itself so that I can enhance it. So the way of writing sociology comes from practice itself. Giving maximum importance to including the thinkers in the thinkers, sociological thinkers in answers is very important. And we can also give commonplace examples and recent sociological examples from newspaper. It can add value to your answer. So someone is someone is asking about my attempt. This is my fourth attempt. So this was my fourth attempt and my first interview. So I've written two mains also. So that was my main strategy. And regarding the content enrichment, you can prepare notes on micro topics, as I've said earlier. And there are topics that can be included in various GS subjects alike. For example, women is a topic that are included in various GS and various GS papers. You can include that in ethics. There is a part of women in GS1. You can include it in GS2 and GS3 as well. There are different kinds of topics that are related to the women in all these four papers. So you can prepare women as a separate topic as well. And apart from that, you can also prepare statistics and data from authentic sources, and you can include that in essay as well as all the GS papers. So these are the general things. And now now I'd like to address about the question, that is how to deal with unknown questions. See, there are chances that there should be unknown questions both in prelims as well as in mains. In prelims, the amount of unknown questions will be very high. That as I've said earlier, there will be hardly less than 30 questions that we already know, to be sure, and all the rest, for example, the 70% of prelims questions will be unknown to us in one way or the other. So some of the questions are meant to be left, that we don't have any idea about such questions. So such questions can be left, and the number of attempts, that is the questions to be attempted, depends on our accuracy. So that we can find out with the mock test that we take or the practice that we do. Other than that, there are certain techniques for attempting unknown questions. For example, in prelims, we can use elimination techniques. We can use simple logic to eliminate options. For example, if three options are eliminated, with simple logic, you can attempt that question in the second round. Some of the questions where we can eliminate two options at a time, and we have to choose between two options. In that case, you have to you have to connect that question with whatever knowledge you have and to eliminate it. So the skill of elimination, you can perfect it with various techniques that are easily available on YouTube. There are different videos of different teachers telling about how to perfect this elimination. So this comes with practice. Please do practice questions. Now there is only hardly 1.5 months to prelims. Hardly 1.5 months to prelims. So please do practice this elimination and the exam mindset, as I've said earlier. That gives an edge for you in prelims. And regarding mains, there are very less chance that a totally unknown question will come in mains. Usually such questions come from the geography part. For example, in last year or last to last year, there was a question about cryosphere. So such terms may not be familiar to us. So this year, luckily there was no such question from geography that was completely unknown. There can be some or the other way that we know that question in mains. And usually when we write a mains answer, there should be an introduction, body, and a conclusion. Conclusion usually has a way forward, where we give what should be done or what can be done to resolve such a problem that is given in the question. Other than that, If we are not familiar with a particular question, we can connect it to whatever content that we have. We already have covered the basics after for the prelims, and even for the mains also we have covered the basic content that is needed. So whatever question that is out of the box, it will be difficult for almost all the aspirants. So do not panic when you get such a question. Just try to break down the question, analyze it, and connect it to any content that you have, so that we can attempt at least 2 or 3 pages, because that is what we are expected to do. At least 10 markers it is for 2 pages, and 15 markers there will be hardly 3 pages. So you just have to fill that 2 pages with whatever content you have. There will be 1 or 2 questions that will be out of box. Otherwise, all the questions will be based on the micro themes that we have figured out from the PYQs. So that is it. For example, I'll tell an example of this year. This year there was an question in GS1 regarding Akbar's religious syncretism. So the only point that I knew about it was Dini Ilahi, because I was not very fond of history. I'm a person who studies very little in history. So based on this, I started an introduction about religious syncretism, how it was important in Akbar's period, and what he has done. I have given very basic points. Religious syncretism, that he has promoted all the religions together, and such basic points. Along with that, I have given the example of Dini Ilagi. That is what I have made an answer with a simple example that I have. So that is about how you answer that question, not about the content, the rich content that you have. You can answer these questions with the already what knowledge that you already have. So now that I've shared my strategy on mains also, now we'll go to interview preparation. So interview preparation was the most lenient kind of preparation that I had during this phase. And after my mains, I had a peer group. So we used to we used to sit almost every day to discuss topics that are in the current affairs, and also and also have peer mocks. So that was very important for us to have a holistic idea about a topic, because we all were from different backgrounds. So we could discuss a particular news or an issue with different points of view. So we could have a comprehensive idea about that particular point also. So that was important. Peer mocks had helped me in the interview preparation. And in the interview preparation, as everybody says, DAF is the most important document that you have, because in DAF you have mentioned about your hobbies, your achievements, about yourself, about your place. So they can ask questions from whatever area they're in the DAF itself. And this year my interview was entirely based on DAF. There were very few questions that were outside the DAF, outside my DAF. So preparing DAF itself is a great achievement for interview. Prepare on that, and read newspapers. Try to read 2 newspapers at the interview stage. You can read the Hindu as well as the Indian Express. The Express Explained has a lot of content that can be asked in the interview. So that is all about the interview preparation. And this year my interview was almost wholly based on my DAF itself. And now I'll share some of the points about note making and revision. See, note making, I'll cover about the newspaper reading also. See, newspaper reading is very important for this preparation. See, there has been aspirants asking about whether to read newspaper or to rely on current affairs magazines. I would suggest that reading newspaper should be basic. The primary thing should be to read newspaper, because that is kind of an active learning. We read the newspaper, we'll search about the backgrounds, we'll search about the places in news or the species in news. That is an active kind of learning, rather than mugging up facts and data that is given in the current affairs magazine. We get to learn ourselves, so that stays in memory for me for a long period. And some of the pictures that I see in newspaper can also help in the elimination process somehow or some way or the other. So I prefer reading newspapers rather than just relying on the current affairs magazines. You can substitute the newspapers with current affairs magazines, that too selective reading, because it makes it difficult for us to read the entire magazine and then revise, because that's a lot of information. We are just humans, we can't mug up everything. So just select whatever you can learn and revise it properly. And now coming to note making, I haven't made comprehensive news from this notes from newspaper for the prelims, but for the mains, I have noted down certain examples, certain data and statistics as well from the newspaper and also the current affairs magazines. That is for the mains part. For the prelims part, I have read the newspaper daily. I'll go check on the background, and if any pictures or post, as I mentioned earlier, community post in the YouTube channels will be there regarding newspaper, regarding the current affairs. I've used both the Drishti as well as Vision IA's community post. That's very interesting. They have pictures, so that stays in my memory for a long period. I have I'll take the screenshot or save the community post and make a note on that based on the GS topics, so that I can review it, I can revise it easily. That picture stays in my mind for a long time. And regarding the mains note making, I've said earlier that I've analyzed the PYQs and took the micro topics, and a one page and note on each micro topics was there during my mains. That has helped me a lot. Even I have also made a maps, a notebook of maps was there. For example, this time there was onshore and offshore oil reserves were asked in one of the GS papers. So I drew a world map for that, for onshore and offshore oil reserves. It's a basic logic. I have not prepared it beforehand, but it's a basic logic of how to include maps in such questions. So you can include maps in notes also. And regarding the current affairs magazines, uh, and the other magazines like Down to Earth, Yojana, and Kurukshetra, these becomes important. The current affairs magazines can be used in the prelims as well as mains, and Yojana and Kurukshetra and even Down to Earth becomes important in the case of mains. You can read these magazines, selectively read. You can take the examples like government schemes, certain best practices. Yojana and Kurukshetra has several such examples. You can make use of that in the mains paper. Do not read it fully, because you can selectively read that and pick out examples and note it down somewhere, so that it becomes easy for you to revise. And so I'll now share about the hours of study, or my general timetable of a particular day, and how much time I used to study, how much test series did I take. So generally, I'm an early bird, so I used to wake up early. I'll study about around 6 to 7 hours. That is concentrated study time without any breaks. After providing for breaks, I'll study around 6 to 7 hours concertedly. So that is concentrated study time. After giving all these breaks, it is 6 to 7 hours of concentrated study time. That includes the newspaper also. So this was a consistent pattern, because I'll show up every day and cover 6 to 7 hours of study every day. And there's no particular timetable for me. I'll start in the morning, and till my breakfast it will be first session. After my breakfast till the lunch break, there will be second session. And after the lunch break till the evening, I'll have a third session. And after the evening, there will be a larger break. And in the night, I'll usually revise or make notes, or do such things that are very trivial, because in the night I feel sleepy. So that is why I used to prioritize my study times according to this. In the morning session, I'll cover things that are very hard to me. So these are the particulars that I've written down. Now, the last thing that I have to talk about is regarding whether we have to take a coaching and things regarding Plan B. I did not have a concrete Plan B, and I was not also very aware about the GS topics and the topics that had to be covered. So I took a coaching from an institute in Trivandrum. And if you have that complacent attitude when you have a Plan B, it's better to keep a watch on how much attempts you plan to give in UPSC. For me, I consider this fourth attempt to be my last attempt. I'll wholeheartedly prepare this fourth attempt, and if did not happen, I would have gone to a concrete Plan B of choosing another option, or preparing for just another exam for a base. So this was my general strategy. Now I'll take up questions from the comment box and I'll answer it. So there is a question about a revision. So a revision strategy. How I used to learn was through active recall. Active recall. So that whenever I study a topic today, I try to recall it on the very next day. So if at all I'm not able to recall, I'll go back and revise it on the very next day. And during the weekend, there will be a revision session. For example, Monday to Friday, if I cover a topic, I'll take a break in the Saturday where I'll not cover any new topic, but instead I'll practice PYQs and revise whatever I've learned in the weekend. So this happens during my prelims test series as well as my mains test series if I have taken. I'll revise more than I study new topics. So you can have a weekly or even daily revision as well. You can plan a revision session whenever you feel it is possible. You can revise as well on a daily basis. So a person is asking that consistency is not maintained. So how should you do this? You should have that inner urge to write this exam. You can for me, I was preparing online, so all my coachings were online. I was sitting at home without a peer group till my mains, so maintaining consistency was also hard for me. So you should have that inner urge. You should have a strong why, that why you are preparing for this exam, so that keeps you going. Otherwise you can use YouTube to see the UPSC vlogs that are posted online, so that you can see someone else is also preparing, so that may motivate you. And you can also watch topper videos, the sharing the strategy or the interview videos. I used to watch that so that I get motivated enough to do that, so that I can also be talking like that one day. So regarding NCRTs you have to prepare usually from 6th to 12th NCRTs. It is based on your understanding of that humanities subject. For example, I was very weak at history, so I started from the 6th standard itself. And for history, NCRTs are really important. And for polity, it was a strong area for me. So I started from 9th standard only and covered the basic NCRTs and then supplemented it with Lakshmikant. And you can also based on your strengths and weaknesses, you can decide where to start with NCRTs. The NCRTs should not be skipped for history and geography, because geography, it is the many of the questions are from the NCRT. So the Indian geography and the physical geography NCRTs of the 11th standard, you should not skip it. And based on your understanding levels, you can start from which class, 6th standard onwards, or else you can start from 9th standard onwards. Speed reading can be done for subjects that you know, and if you are weak at it, just give 2 or 3 readings so that it sticks to your mind. You can make short notes from NCRTs as well. Yes, for geography, it is advisable to start from 6th NCRT, but 6th and 7th, usually up to 9th, the NCRTs are very easy to read. So you can read it once or twice and everything sticks to your mind. You can make short notes from it. Some of the points that you may not remember can be written down from the 6th NCRTs of geography. Otherwise, I would suggest re-revisions are needed for the 11th standard and 12th standard NCRTs of geography, especially the Indian geography and the physical geography part. See, geography, you can watch online lectures also. Someone was asking how to go about on geography. You can start with the NCRTs. It is very nice NCRTs you have in geography. So after rereading the NCRTs, if you find it any difficulty in understanding Indian geography or physical geography, you may find it difficult. So there are many YouTube videos that shows how things work in a video format with explanations. It is very easy to understand. For example, if you have to study about the El Nino phenomenon, you can search it on YouTube. There are very good YouTube videos available. You get to see what happens with the arrows and the person explaining it. So it is very easy to cover those topics. You can refer to YouTube videos for geography. See, current affairs, I have I've covered current affairs. And regarding Telegram and Instagram channels, I have used many Telegram channels. There are channels like the VKIAS, which gives a comprehensive idea about current affairs news, analysis of current affairs news in a means perspective. There are also ethics and geography channels as well, and places in news are covered in certain channels. You can refer to such channels where they get the very crisp information for the prelims as well as analytical kind of explanations for the mains. So I've used Telegram channels. See, coaching is coaching really necessary for UPSC exam? It depends on you. If you do not have that, if you do not have a clear idea about how to start preparation, if you are really confused, you can go for coaching. And if you cannot afford it, or if you are not interested in getting a online getting a proper coaching, you can. There are a lot of resources available now. There are a lot of YouTube channels giving coachings. That is free videos, free coachings are there. You can watch the top of videos. If you have a clarity in that, and if you are confident enough that you can learn a lot, there is no issue of learning by yourself. You can depend on YouTube, and there are also AI chatbots like ChatGPT can be used for content generation. So there is no issue. It depends on a person to take the coaching or not. For spectrum, there is a question whether we have to study every page on spectrum. It is not necessary. I haven't learned every other page on spectrum. It becomes important after 1857 till independence. There is that period is important. 1857. It is after 1857 till 1947 independence. That age is important. So concentrate on that area, and this is the major stream nationalism that we have. And after that, there are certain questions from the minor stream nationalism, but it is not very prominent. So stick on to the pre-BYQs and refer to this area, which is very important. And other than that, the socio-religious movements are also important, and refer to PYQs, and also select the areas where you have to study. Spectrum isn't to be studied in full length. So optional, I took a coaching from a coaching institute in Trivandrum from Fortune IS Academy. So entire optional preparation was based on the Fortune notes and the class notes. See, how much time needed to complete syllabus in optional? It depends on the optional subject. For me, it was sociology. I took one whole year after my third attempt to complete the sociology syllabus. I took it slow, but sociology has a very simple, comprehensive, very short syllabus that can be covered in like a few months also. It depends on the person, and depends on the optional also. CSAT preparation, I have said earlier that I took on to PYQ analysis and the PYQ practice for CSAT preparation, because I don't think I have an issue with comprehension, but for maths, it was practice was needed for me. So I took 5 years the PYQs of CSAT, and I practiced it every day, so that I can identify certain max regions where I am lacking with, where I should not attempt, and certain regions that I should attempt. I was good at reasoning and logical reasoning questions, but certain other questions in max was very difficult for me. Those using formulas, or using some difficult formulas, it was not easy for me. So usually I don't attempt those questions, but I have very good edge in comprehension. So I used to practice comprehension more. You can develop your own strategy for CSAT. There is no fixed strategy. You can prioritize whatever topics portions you are good at, but every other portion, maths as well as the English portion, comprehension portion, carry the equal weightage. So you should be careful that you should not neglect maths for comprehension or the otherwise. You should prepare both alike, but concentrate on your strong areas. See, online and offline coaching, it depends on you. If you have that strong urge in yourself, if you have that confidence that you won't be demotivated, or you won't lose consistency when you are taking online coaching, you can you can stay at your home. If there is a conducive atmosphere for you to sit and study, you can use online coaching. or else if you have to see others studying to get motivated, or if you have to attend to offline classes to get that essence of studying, you can go for offline coaching. It depends on you. See, someone was asking my strategy about NCRT. As I have said earlier, NCRTs can be studied based on one's understanding of the topic. For example, usually 6 to 12 NCRTs are to be studied, but several of the NCRTs, like geography NCRTs of the 6 to 8 standard, these are very simple and there can be fast reading of that NCRT. And for economics, there is only 9 to 12 NCRT. You can start from that. And for polity also, 6 to 12 NCRTs are there. So based on your understanding, you can read NCRTs once or twice, or you can jot down the points from the NCRTs for revision. So it depends on you. Anyhow, you have to start with the NCRTs because these are basic sources and many questions from the prelims are sourced from NCRTs. So you should not skip NCRTs, but based on your understanding, you can fast read the NCRTs. So I think I've answered every question. See, I'm from Kerala, from the south, so I'm not very confident in speaking in Hindi. That is why I spoke in English. I hope it is clear. And if no other questions are there, I think we can wind up the session. Okay, someone is asking, is Lakshmikant enough for prelims? It is more than enough for prelims. You can start with NCRTs and then go on for Lakshmikant. And in Lakshmikant also, there are areas that you have to prioritize. For example, the Parliament and the Union Executives are high value areas where you should not skip those areas. And then fundamental right, DPSPs, anti-defection law, these are areas that you cannot skip. So prioritize the Lakshmikant also, and there are some of the areas in Lakshmikant where questions do not come from, that comes with PYQ analysis and practice. See, someone was asking about 50-50 prelims questions, that we get to eliminate two options and we have to choose between the other two. So I was also having that problem with 50-50 questions. There are techniques of using whatever content you have to solve that question, and if not, you can use simple logic. You can take a chance in those questions. Anyway, 50-50 questions are to be attempted if you have, if you want to attempt like around 90 questions. If your accuracy is low, you have to attempt around 90 questions. For me, it was very low, so I used to attempt above 90 questions. So for that, most of the 50-50 questions are to be attempted. So when you practice, if you are getting when you take the number of 50-50 questions that you attempted, and if the number of right questions are less than number of wrong questions, just flip the attempt. That is how we attempt the questions. There are a lot of YouTube videos on that. You can go and search. They'll be showing it with the examples of question. I don't have an example now in my hand, otherwise I would have shown you. See, coaching, which coaching should I join for GS Foundation course for strong basics? See, there are a lot of coaching institute, but go for those institute which have high number of results. Go for those institute which have high results from the PCM courses. PCM is the prelims cum mains course. So all the institutes will be publishing the name of candidates who have joined their PCM courses. So look for those results and then join a coaching. Sorry for the delay. See, regarding the English language that you use, you don't have to speak fast or fluent English in order to impress someone in the interview. That is not needed. You can select the medium of a language in during the interview. It is just that a language is just for communication. Whether in mains or an interview, you don't have to have that flashy language to score marks. You just have to communicate whatever you intend to. That is the main idea behind it. So I've attempted, I think I've answered most of the questions. Someone is asking, is Shankar Rao enough for sociology? I have not heard of that, but I have taken coaching at Fortune IS Academy, and other than that, I don't know about it. How to make PYQ based note for mains. So there are PYQ compilations for mains that explains about the micro topics. For example, there are Forum IAS and many other institutes do have that PYQ micro theme based PYQ analysis. You can use that, and there are certain micro themes that we ourselves find out when we analyze PYQs. For example, in disaster management is a micro theme. Minerals is a micro theme in GS1. Art and culture is a art and culture. Harappan civilization is a micro theme in GS1. And then, for example, in GS3, in agriculture portion, there is food processing, supply chain management, which are micro themes. So, concentrate on these themes and prepare around 5 to 6 points and examples and statistics, and if possible diagrams also based on these themes and based on the GS topics, so that you get to answer whatever question that comes from the micro themes. You can while the compilations of forum and many other compilations are there, Disha is also there. Based on this micro themes, you can prepare notes on your own. Have you read Bipin Chandra's book for Modern India? What was your source? So Modern India, it was Spectrum alone. I have not read any other source other than Spectrum. So a student has asked whether to go back home and take online coaching or stay in Delhi and take offline coaching. I've answered the question. It depends on you. If you have that urge to prepare alone at home and take online coaching, you should not be demotivated, or you should not lose the consistency to continue. You can take online coaching as well. But offline coaching, you can have that UPSC atmosphere where you find other people studying. That can be a source of motivation for you. So it is your preference, whether online or offline. If you have that consistency, if you put in smart work, and if you work according to all these parameters given, you will clear. So I have done online coaching because my home was the most conducive atmosphere where I could study. So I have taken all the coachings online. It was only during my interview preparation that I went offline. See, how to prepare notes for GS2. So GS2, there is majorly polity portion is there. So for the mains, as I've said earlier, there is micro topics should be identified based on the PYQ analysis. You can take any publications PYQ analysis and identify the micro topics. For example, in polity, there are often questions repeated from basic structure doctrine, separation of powers, ordinances, then Indian constitution and the union executives to be compared with the other countries. For example, this time there was a question on pardoning power comparison between Indian president and some other country, I think US president. So such questions are often repeated. You can identify those micro themes and then prepare notes on that. See, I've covered the political science mains exam as well, the subject. Polity basic sources Lakshmikant. You can have all these articles, the basic constitutional amendments, etc. from Lakshmikant. Other than that, you can supplement it with magazines like Prahar magazine or Mains 365 or Vision, so that current affairs are also updated in those. You can add points like new articles, the articles that are in news. So that can be added as a value addition to our answers. Yes, Lakshmikant is enough for mains as well. Other than that, you can supplement it with the current affairs magazines, that is Mains 365, Prahar magazine, etc. Some of the points that we may miss from the Lakshmikant, we can add it. That is, recent Supreme Court verdicts may be there. There are many landmark verdicts that have been given by the Supreme Court recently. So that is not there in the static book, and that you have to cover from the current affairs and from the magazines as well. See, how to manage the online coachings of 6 hours and plus optional coaching along with what we actually study. So uh, for online coaching, I took it 2021. There was 4 hours of a GS class and 2 hours of optional class as well. So screen time is an issue. You can take breaks in between, or usually there was breaks in between the classes, but this screen time can be a problem. But you have to manage it anyway, because if you have a problem looking onto the screen for a long time, you can prefer on offline coaching as well. For me, it was not a problem because most of my notes were handwritten at that time. So I used to study for only 3 to 4 hours during my first attempt, because after all these classes, I won't get study time of around 10 hours after that. So you can make your own timetable based on that. And if screen time is a problem, you can take occasional breaks as well. So I joined the coaching at Fortune IS Academy in Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala for my GS foundation course as well as my optional courses. See, for ancient and medieval history, one person was asking whether Tamil Nadu NCRT old or new edition is a good. See, I have not used Tamil Nadu NCRT. I have used the class notes that are provided for my PCM batch, as well as the R.S. Sharma and Satish Chandra selective reading of these old NCRTs. I have not used Tamil Nadu NCRT. I don't know about whether new or old version is good. So I have used a selective reading of R.S. Sharma, Ancient India, and Satish Chandra, Medieval India. That too selective reading, because in medieval India there are very less questions that are asked, and in ancient India also there are certain areas where questions are concentrated. For example, the Mauryan age or the Guptan age or the South Indian kingdoms, etc. So I read the chapters of these portions only from those books. Other than that, for ancient and medieval India, I don't think we can cover every other topic that is asked in prelims. There can be weird questions like some other term in some other books can be asked. So we can, if we can connect these terms to whatever we have studied. For example, there was a question a few years back about pana, which is a term. What does this term signify? So the term was about coins. This term, mostly South Indians can relate that this term was there in Malayalam as well as in Tamil language. So such connections can be built. Otherwise, we cannot study all these terms in the ancient and medieval India. Just leave it if you do not have. Otherwise, have a constant, have a basic framework of the time periods in which the kingdoms happened, and the major wars that has been fought, or the major things that are there in the life and society and culture, etc. Other than that, you don't have to prepare a lot on ancient or medieval India, because there are very less questions from, especially from the medieval Indian part. Completing preparation along with optional within a year is myth or reality? It is possible, but preparation as such, completing the entire syllabus may not be possible, because we do have a vast syllabus. So we should prioritize our preparation based on PYQ analysis and the syllabus. So that is possible for the optional as well as the GS topics. If we go with the basic structure of the PYQ and the syllabus, we can possibly complete it. No, I don't have a personal Telegram channel. I have not started it because many of my notes have this short forms which I only understand. So it may be useless to share those notes online. So I have not started any Telegram channel. So online coaching, this one person was asking that we may not be able to figure out how the other aspirants are going. In that case, you can go to offline coaching. What I have done is I have followed all the topper strategy. I have a contact with some of the people who are preparing as well. So I have maintained that contacts in the online coaching as well. See, make myself notes or take any coaching notes. I'm so much confused. You a person. Self notes or coaching notes, it depends on a person. If we are okay with the coaching notes, if we find it useful, and if we can read and revise it properly, coaching notes are also coaching notes can also be used. Otherwise, you can make self notes if you want to study. If you find it useful to make one's own notes and study, you can depend on the self notes as well. So I think we could end the session because uh, the time is almost 8. I think they have another live coming up. So if you don't have any other question, we can end this session. Okay, I think we can end the session. Thank you, UPSC Time India, for inviting me to the session. It was very interesting to talk and share my strategy and answer these questions. So I think I'll end the session. Thank you. Thank you again.